have no problem with people not liking the same movies that I like. But there are some people who think just because they don't like a movie, it gives them permission to go absolutely feral and be so unhinged online. It is insane. And that is where today's video comes in, because I have been scouring IMDb and Letterboxd for these feral and unhinged reviews on some of my personal favourite movies. If you're new here, I'm Hannah, I go by Hordes Online, and I am the head of the Horde here on my channel Hordes of Horror, and if you're not new, welcome back. I talk about horror movies here on my channel on Mondays and Fridays, so if that sounds like something you might be interested in, maybe hit that subscribe button and join the Horde, or if you're feeling extra generous, chuck me a like on this video, because then I'll know if you want a second one of these in maybe a month's time. I have picked 10 reviews for 10 of my favourite movies, so how about we jump in with the first one and let me switch my camera setup to how I have it on Patreon, because trust, I'm going to show you all of these reviews as I read them out and I react to them, because some of them are a little bit insane and you just need to see them to believe them.
Okay, let's go.
I make no bones about it here on my channel. I am a sorehead through and through. It is my favourite of the horror franchises along with Chucky. And this review is courtesy of IMDb, because IMDb, you actually have to give your reviews a title, and this one simply reads, Severely Disappointed. I was a fan of the first Saw. I found the very tightly knitted mix of horror, suspense and twists, and the unpredictability of the relatively new concept really intriguing. Having missed Saw 2,
That's suspicious.
I watched Saw 3 hoping that the initial formula had somehow been extended and maintained, and I was certainly disappointed. Girly Pop, what you mean you missed the second movie? Like, what? The first few challenges were nothing more than a gore fest. The thrill and the suspense of the challenges faced in the original Saw replaced with ideas designed to do nothing more than test how well you could hold on to your last meal. There is no rhyme, no reason, and paper-thin plots. Although I do admit that the plots may have been thicker if I had seen Saw 2. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
You do.
But any episode in a good series should be able to stand on its own without needing the prior episodes to work. Excuse me? Like, when you sit down to watch a TV series or a franchise, do you just skip random episodes and hope that it's going to make sense? Like, no, you don't. Like, why on earth would you expect to sit down and watch the third movie and it make absolute sense when you've missed the second? Like, am I missing something here? Like, After enduring the first 20 minutes of blood and guts, the storyline of the movie started to develop, and it was hard to actually connect with it, as there was the constant fear that the next second another disembowelment or similar would jar me out of the storyline again. I think this person completely misses the point of the Saw movie. Like, if you'd watched the second movie, you might have realised that they changed the format a little bit and decided that the traps were going to be a much bigger part going forward. So all I can say to this person is, if you'd watched the second one, you wouldn't have needed to write this absolute bollocks review of the third one. You're welcome.
Bye, have a beautiful time.
Oh, but it goes on. I think that the only real review and punishment for this film would probably be to lock the director, producer, writer in a chair and give them a choice of watching the film continuously or hacking their own legs off. I think they'd lose their legs if they had any taste. Like, how dare you come for Lee Whannell and James Wan? Like, how dare you? Like I said, if you just watched the second movie, you'd have realised you weren't going to like the format going forward, but clearly this person doesn't have the common sense to actually watch things in the order that they came out. Like, bless this person, we're not going to agree on anything. Another movie that I have talked endlessly about here on my channel is the movie Little Monsters, which is my personal favourite zombie movie. And this next review, I am going to have to censor how I announce, how I read this one, because this person makes the previous person look absolutely sane. Like, this person was actually unhinged who wrote this next one. And the title of it simply reads, Stupid, no fun, maybe just for people who enjoy their hamburgers bleeding.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
Starts terribly, is terrible in the middle, and ends terribly. At first, a couple is fighting annoyingly. The immature, stupid man then turns out to be the one hero of the film. The other heroine is so stupid that she sets off for a country trip with children in a dress, and even more ridiculously, in heels, just to make men drool. Like, I'd just like to stop there and say the heroine he's talking to here is Lupita Nyong'o. Like, don't come for, like, horror's sweetheart, because we all love Lupita Nyong'o. He makes it sound like she is running through fields in sort of 7 and 8 inch stripper shoes. She's wearing a kitten heel. She's a kindergarten teacher. That's why she's taking a bunch of kids on a school trip to a farm. That's the point of the movie. Thirdly, we have the cliche of a star of children's television who is, of course, rotten through and through and does not like children. And surprise, and even more surprised, is named Schneider. No, he's not. This character he's referring to is played by Josh Gad, and he's called Teddy McGiggles. I don't know where he's got Schneider from, but he's definitely not called Schneider. Either as a blow to the, I'm going to have to censor how I say this, to a man of a certain religion, Dan Schneider, the mastermind of many children's series, or as simply as a massive hostility to Germans. Disgusting either way. Dan Schneider is a horrible, horrible man, so we're not going to give him credit, because the number of things that he did to make the show, like the children's stars' lives miserable on the shows he worked with, we're not going there, and this person is clearly a fan of nasty, nasty people.
You're a bad, bad man.
The plot around the zombies does not start badly, but then nothing really gets exciting and or / fun. On the contrary, even poor animals are terrorised or eaten, and by far the worst scene is the one with the panicked lamb. It's set on a farm, mate. Like, what are the zombies supposed to eat? Like, they're not vegetarian, they're not vegan, they're zombies. And the stupid Felix has the chance to save the lamb, but does not. This scene, you don't actually see if Felix saves the lamb or not. You know Felix gets away. The lamb might have got away. It's just not shown. It can even be seen as sadism that the poor animal is shown suffering several times. It's not. And is not saved, you don't know. Although it would be so easy if it had taken off into the tractor. This person's grammar is awful. But apparently, it doesn't matter with so many animals abused before. It's a movie about zombies on a farm. It's zombies on a farm, and it's got a military base next to it. Like I said, what are they supposed to eat?
People should eat people.
And in the end, another cliche, trigger-happy US Army firing excessively at short, pointless, unfunny scene. A completely stupid, annoying film that no one needs except maybe for people who find it funnier when their hamburgers be... Mate, I'm a vegan, and this is my mum's favourite horror movie. My mum doesn't like horror, but my mum has been getting into horror because she's been watching it with me. Like, the fact that my non-loving horror mum loves this movie should tell you it ain't what you think it is. Someone had the nerve to come for my beloved movie, Dave Made Amaze. You know, the movie that talks about how mental health discussions are important and how it is fine to feel like you are being left behind in life and that, you know, you're allowed to go at your own pace. Yeah, somebody had a problem with Dave Made Amaze, who simply titled their IMDb review, a watchable film if you skip 10 minutes at a time.
Hell no!
What a dreadful and utterly boring movie about a silly artist who builds a cardboard maze in his living room. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions and comments. However, anyone scoring this film above a 1 out of 10 stars needs to build their own maze and never come out again, or possibly invest themselves into lifelong therapy. Mate, this movie is about mental health discussions. You clearly missed the entire point of the movie. I hate to break it to you. The idea is to discuss mental health, not shut down about it.
Stop it. Get some help.
The only thing going for the film is the artist value of the maze and the creatures within the maze. It is definitely worth a mention. As for the rest, make like an ostrich and push your heads under the sand. Sir, I would love if you disappeared as well, because someone doesn't understand the entire point of the movie. And like, it is okay to admit that you do not understand the plot of a movie. I do it quite frequently here on my channel. But if you don't understand it, Google it.
Choices.
I haven't talked about this movie very much on my channel. I don't think I've ever mentioned that I love this movie here on my channel. One of my like guilty pleasures that I have no shame in admitting that I love is the ridiculous Banana Splits movie. That movie never fails to absolutely crack me up. I don't care. The number of people that compare it to Five Nights at Freddy's and be like, oh my god, it's about killer animatronics. There were many things before FNAF that had murderous robots in it. Like, have you never heard of Terminator? No. This person simply titled their review, "The people behind this should have slipped on a banana." Sometimes you see a movie and wonder, how the hell did this utter trash get made? And then one will watch the movie and say, why the hell did this utter trash get made? First, some brainiac said, why don't we turn a cherished children's memory into a stupidly written, dumb idea horror film? Clearly, someone's a little bit attached to the original material and can't separate the two from each other. Second, some other brainiac will put the money up for it and say, yes, let's do that. Perhaps we'll sucker some chumps, like this reviewer into watching, which they did. Well, congratulations, because I also watched this movie because I thought it looked camp as tits, and it was. Third, desperate actors who need a paycheck signed on to be in this mess. I hope they got paid up front. So to give an easy synopsis without spoilers, turns out the Banana Splits in this universe, which is universally adored TV show, they're also robots. One of the most annoying kid actors in the universe, squeaky voice and innocence intact, is going to see them for his birthday. Yes, because he's 6. That's why he's got a squeaky voice. We're not talking like a 12-year-old. He's an actual child. But a new network president hates the show and is cancelling it. Like, cue the, Dr. Evil meme.
$1 million.
Cue death and violence. Okay, some of the special effects are pretty good, but for a movie like this, there aren't enough of them. A man gets a lollipop shoved down his gob and that's how he gets killed. Is that not enough for you? Like, there's quite a few deaths in the pit. Somebody dies in a ball pit. Like, how fun is that? Where were we? The very end scene really comes out of left field. It doesn't, if you've been watching the rest of the movie and have put 2 and 2 together and made 4. Rather than spoil it, suffice to say this film should suffer a quick death, and it's trash, like this, that keeps me wishing IMDb would initiate a 0 rating. It's trash, but it's my trash, and I love this ridiculous movie because it absolutely plays into the fact that it's trash. I have talked about 31 by Rob Zombie a few times on this, and I know that there are people that really don't like this movie just because of the content in it, but I found a special kind of unhinged review, and it has "I'm a jealous man" kind of written all over it, who simply titled his review, "Yet another abysmal movie from Rob Zombie."
We go again.
As juvenile as calling a grown man zombie, sir, that's his name. He changed it to that, and it's called being polite to actually call somebody by the name that they have chosen. This is yet another awkward, embarrassing, adolescent, amateurish, annoying movie from this clueless man. Do they not like House of a Thousand Corpses? Like, I thought everybody liked House of a Thousand Corpses. His wife, at the centre of it, yet again making deranged expressions, trying to be as sleazy as possible, but has the 0 talent of a non-actress, doesn't help either. Do you think that this man's a little bit jealous that Rob Zombie is A, successful, and B, has a really attractive wife? Like, that's the vibes I'm getting.
Jackpot!
Nope, This man can't even get it right by mere chance. He's still all pose, like a tribute band of the 70s and 80s horror movies who get the look, kind of, but can't play worth for crap. I think this man's just a really big hater. This bit, though, I'm going to have to censor again. By the time the terrible little man actor dressed like a German dictator clown listens to the real German dictator's speech record, was time to turn this garbage off. Mate, he's an assassin in this movie. You're not supposed to want the assassins to live, mate. That's the entire point of the movie. You're supposed to root for the group that have been forced into playing this game. You're meant to want the little clown man to die. But it continues. You see, even the vague feeling that this drivel was in this way connected to such a terrible event in history was so sad and stupid that I had to quit. You're not meant to want the clown assassins to live. You're supposed to see this particular assassin and go, oh, that's bottom pushy. I really want the white supremacist one to die, like, really badly, please, in this movie set in the 1970s. Because this is exactly what a Rob Zombie movie is. A man with dwarfism, dressed as a German dictator, made up as a clown to be shocking and bizarre, just for the sake of shocking and bizarre. And the results are, of course, pathetic. I don't think he's seen that there are actually 6 different assassins in this movie, and this particular assassin is probably in the movie for maybe 5 minutes. Max.
You serious?
Oh boy, somewhere there's talented people who can't find money to produce their movie, and this hack has already made 7 or something like that. Pisses me off. It just reeks of jealousy. I just think that this person doesn't like Rob Zombie as a person, doesn't like that he's successful, doesn't like that he's got a really pretty wife, and doesn't like that he was in a heavy metal band that is also really popular. Like, I don't think the problem is with the actual movie. My favourite movie in the horror genre is Bride of Chucky. And I, again, have never hidden this here on my channel, but someone actually had the audacity to come for Jennifer Tilly in this movie, and you will see exactly what I mean for this, who simply titled their 1-star review, absolutely awful. We're going to start with some casual snobbery in this, because why the hell not? I am a huge fan of horror films, especially older ones with Lugosi, Goth, Press, and Cushing. I don't know why I'm turning into David Attenborough meets Joanna Lumley, but we're going to go with it. Naturally, I didn't want to miss Chucky films. I think he means the Chucky films, like the terrible grammar will continue. So I rented Bride of Chucky. It was definitely not worth my time. Why? First of all, the beginning of the film was like from a low budget, awfully made, I want everyone to see my tits film. The end of the film was better, but I found it funny instead of terrifying. Chucky couldn't scare me a bit. I'm sorry, I'm stuck in this voice now. We're gonna go with it. I haven't seen other Chucky movies yet.
I don't understand, bitch. Don't understand.
Oh, I'm getting flashbacks to the man that didn't watch Saw 2 either. I really, really hope they are much better than this piece of... I'm dying. I can only recommend Bride of Chucky for those of you who like to see breasts. And that's the only thing this movie had enough of. Actually, way too much of it. This really spoils the film. This movie doesn't know anything about horror. It's more like a black comedy to me. A really, really bad one. Mate, it's a horror comedy, and it's got Jennifer Tilly in it, who has been my possibly #1 crush, besides China from WWE, since I was about 12 years old. Like, sorry, but that one absolutely cracked me. Imagine telling Jennifer Tilly to put her chesty besties away, like the actual audacity. We'll have a shorter one this time. Another one of my favourite movies from the 80s is Evil Toons, which is definitely not going to be for everybody. It happens to star a bunch of actresses who are known for another career that involves getting naked and getting, participating in mattress sports. And this person doesn't seem to realise that that is where these actresses are from originally. We're still here on IMDb with this one simply titled, What the Hell? 4 sexy young girls, oh please. For one thing, the corn is not even necessary. Who the heck wrote that in? That's because, my friend, these ladies are better known for being naked than they are for wearing clothes. And don't come for Megan, because Meg in this movie is one of my horror movie waifus. I love Meg with all of my heart. And this movie is just ridiculous in the best possible way. For a second, none, and I mean none of these women could act. They're not known for acting, mate. They're known for taking the clothes off. And for third, they got the title wrong. It should be Evil Toon. The toons in the book don't count. I'm back in this weird voice again. We're going with it. The only guy who could really act was the manager. And unfortunately, even he sucked.
Big boobs, small boobs, medium boobs.
And the icing on the cake was the animated monster looked like crap. I'm sorry, but this film is the worst thing I have ever seen. Go back to writing comic books or whatever the hell you used to do, Fred, if you're even still alive. Now, the Fred that he's talking about is the man that wrote the movie. He also directed the movie. He is known for writing absolutely garbage movies, but I don't care. And yes, I think Fred is still alive. We're going to talk about Tidland, because if I can shoehorn Jennifer Tilly in multiple times into a list, I'm going to do it. Tidland is a little bit of a controversial movie. It's not going to be for everyone with its themes and its topics. But this person kind of takes the cake with kind of how rude they are about it. This person simply titled their review, like watching a corpse rot over 2 hours. I have seen a lot of movies, a lot of grotesque, blood-curdling, disturbing, avant-garde films. Some were incredibly bizarre, imaginative, and provocative, but Tidland remains the worst film I have ever seen.
Good heavens.
Tidland is actually told from the point of view of a child. She has 2 drug addicts for parents and uses her imagination to distort the world around her so that things are less traumatic. And let's just say there's a lot of things in this movie that are going to be button pushy. But I continue. Painful and sickening. Perhaps its greatest attribute is that it succeeded in doing what no other film has been able to do. It made me feel like I was staring at a corpse rotting over 2 hours. You kind of are, mate, because very early on in the film, Jalissa's dad actually dies and they taxidermy him. So you are watching a corpse rot over 2 hours. Very well observed. There is no life in this film, which is a perversion to the concept of cinema or moving pictures. While the medium of the film is supposed to give life to pictures, every single moment of Tidland I watched has been dead for several months or years. Art films, like whatever that is, treats the maternity of film as decay, but Tidland is really embodied in the character of Jeff Bridges. A decaying corpse. Like I mentioned, he dies within the first 10 minutes. Like 2 people die in the first 10 minutes. And then my favourite lady turns up, who is called Dell, and she taxidermies him, which is the best moment in the entire film, in my opinion. So, like I said, it's not going to be for everybody, but it's button pushy. I think this man just doesn't like this. Like, I was waiting for him to come for the man that directed this movie. He's one of the Monty Python guys. I'll pop his name up because my brain has just decided it's not going to remember it. And it's based on a book. So if you don't like the film, it's not the man behind Monty Python's fault. Just, it's the book.
The book was better.
Another reviewer wrote that he had to take a shower after watching it. So did I. I felt like the rot from the screen had affected my own presence and I needed to be cleansed. I can arrange an exorcism if you'd like one, because that may be the only thing that helps, because I like this weird movie, and I know that there's quite a few of us out there that also like this incredibly weird art house movie, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Sometimes It's a art imitates life kind of thing, and not everything about life is gonna be lovely and fluffy and cushy. And you know, I quite like a movie that doesn't shy away from all of the like taboo things that we aren't always gonna talk about. So now that I have rinsed IMDb, there were a couple of movies where either the reviews weren't great over on IMDb for them, or there weren't any 1-star reviews where people had just given it a 1-star but hadn't explained why. So I poddled over to Letterboxd, where somebody really pissed me off with their review for Franken Hooker, and I'm about to explain why. This person decided to start off by infantilizing the reviewers, because there is no way to make me more annoyed than if you treat everybody else like they are stupid children. Like, no respect for you immediately. And that doesn't mean that you are smarter intellectually than everybody else. Are you toddlers? Does jangling keys in front of your face seem like the most exciting thing ever? Ooh, look at all the shapes and colours and sounds. Fuck off, mate.
Come on, Queensbury rules.
This is cute, sure. If you ignore the fat phobia, misogyny, transphobia, and outright fascism of belittling and exploiting sex workers. I'm gonna have words with this guy in a minute because he's clearly missed the entire point of the movie, and I will explain why in a second. I didn't. This is how you sound to me. Ha 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 ha, crack horse, ha ha, so funny, you insane pricks. Fuck off again, mate. All the way off. I really have had enough of misogynistic slop being presented as feminist. It is a feminist movie, mate. You can all go and shove yourself up the substance's arse. You don't deserve cinema. This movie actually deals with similar subjects to the substance, so again, bravo, mate. The first 2/3 of the film were pointless and could fit into 10 minutes, whereas the important part, you know, the protagonist and the namesake of the film, showing up as an afterthought at the end, only to die for... yeah, only to die, poor grammar here again. Made fun of for being fat and for the most flaccid and most simple range to develop. 1 star for the special effects, as they have been inspired Tokyo Gore Police, which is another one of my favourite movies, mate. I'm going to come to Franken Hooker's defence here, because I see this criticism a lot with Franken Hooker, and people say it's misogynistic, it's transphobic, it's all of these things. This movie is actually a feminist piece of cinema, and it actually talks about sort of the ability to have control over your own bodily anatomy. It talks about toxic masculinity. It talks about the insane beauty standards that women are held to, which is shown at the very end of the movie, because when our main hero, Elizabeth, actually gets her brain back fully functioning, she sees what has been done to her and she's not happy about this. So she does the same thing when Jeffrey Franken dies, and he suddenly realises when he's in a body that does not belong to him that this isn't actually correct. Like, some people just entirely miss the point of this movie, and I'll leave links below. There are multiple essays online about why this is actually such a good feminist piece of movie making, and I need more people to realise that it isn't a misogynistic view on women. Like, it is a much bigger social commentary. There is even a part in this movie where it talks about if you gave spicy workers, because I'm going to have to, you know, I've sworn too much in this, I'm going to have to try and keep it friendly for the rest of it. If you give spicy workers the actual help that they need, it will help lower the amount of drug addiction, and, you know, it will encourage people to actually get themselves clean. Point entirely missed.
He's already dead.
We'll have a short one to wrap up. And somebody came for my boy Noboru Iguchi and my favourite of his movies, which is Nugala Mazie, aka Goth Battle Bear, which is, how can you not like a movie about a sweet Alita who turns into a superhero using the power of a teddy bear that is possessed by a dead samurai who is fighting an evil businessman who has an army of zombies and a group of ladies with laser booby nippers? Like, what's not to love? But this person simply put, sorry to disappoint, but this movie really showed how pervy humour is not funny in any instance. Perfect to show for a straight pervy man though. Excuse me, the last time I checked, I was not a man.
I've got a cheese body.
And I love this movie. It is one of the movies that never fails to make me laugh, and I will say, if you haven't seen it still, and I am not going to shut up about it, please go and watch this ridiculous movie. It is amazing. We'll end this with a 1-star review, which was simply one word long, and that is about Tokyo Gore Police, which is one of the most insane movies that I have ever seen and I love. There are things in it that I can't excuse, the fact that there is blackface in it at one point, but this was Japan in 2008, and it isn't really until the last 10 years that they decided maybe we shouldn't be quite so racist in our films. And this person summed up Tokyo Gore Police simply as Pussygator.
Electric chair.
So that was some of the insane, unhinged 1-star reviews that I found of some of my favourite horror movies. I get it, we're allowed to dislike and like completely different movies, and I have no problem with this. And I hope that you realise that this was just done in some like fun, there's no hard feelings towards any of the reviews that I actually read. It's just, I just fancied a giggle this week, and I thought, you know what, we'll do something a little bit fun. And if you would love me to do this again, I can quite happily squeeze another one of these in August, because I had so much fun filming this. Like, I am so warm from just laughing at the insanity of some of these comments. There will actually be a sequel to this video though coming next Friday, where I am going to be reacting to 5-star reviews of movies that I gave 1 star or less, because it's about time that I exposed my unpopular reviews and opinions on things, and I thought, oh, why not? Like, I got to laugh at 1-star reviews. We'll have a giggle at 5-star reviews as well. We'll keep, you know, we'll balance things out a little bit. Like I said at the beginning, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Chuck me a comment in the comment section as well. If you've ever found a really unhinged 1-star review of a movie that you love, put them in the comments. We'll all have a giggle about them. But if you would like to know where else you can find me, I am also over on Instagram. I'm on Letterboxd. I'm at Hordes of Horror, where I post every single horror movie that I watch, not just the ones that I talk about here on YouTube. But speaking of YouTube, coming up on Monday will be another solo movie review. I have no idea what it's going to be yet. It will be something from 2025. But if you check the community page on Sunday, you'll know exactly what it's going to be. But like I said, there'll be a sequel to this video coming next week. So until next time, bye. A special thank you though to my regenerators here within the Horde for their support over on Patreon.